Hi, it's Andrea Foulkes. It's the 22nd of September 2016. Wow, cosmic energy times. This is the day I set up Earth Peace Meditation Day back in 2008 when I was in Sedona, Arizona for the first time I was there actually. I did the meditation at a beautiful, beautiful sacred space in Sedona called Angel Valley, if you've ever been there. And the people who own that, Amira and Michael, they held a space to me to do a group meditation in 11 Circuit Labyrinth, which was truly beautiful. I've done it there a couple of times, Earth Peace Meditation Day. I've done it at Chalice Well in Glastonbury as well, with a beautiful group of people. And I've done it over the years since 2008. That meditation has been for free on my website since then. All you have to do is subscribe to the newsletter and you get the download. If you're already subscribed to my newsletter and you don't have that meditation and you don't have the other meditation, just put a new email address in. It'll just give you the facility to download it so you can do that meditation. If you do it whenever you feel like it, you know, it helps everybody. The words are beautiful in it. They just came through me and I recorded them. And so that meditation has been there for forever, really. Well, ever since I created it. Times are changing on this planet. Hugely times are changing. It can look really difficult out there, but it's really reflective of how much inner journey work that you've done on yourself. And you know, that's what I do with people. You don't need to understand how the work works to be assisted by it. This is a time of real going inside ourselves, clearing out what are called our emotional Akashic records. People go, I don't understand what emotional Akashic records are. That is, remember, the conscious self that I'm speaking with now, that creates 25% of your reality. It's the subconscious that creates the other 75%. It's the other 75% you don't understand how that's affecting you. And everybody's 75% is different, you know. You can appear in the 25% to be the most positive person in the world, but if the 25% is in conflict, so the past lives, the wounded inner child that you don't know about, the ancestral programming is maybe in conflict with the current version of you. So they're kind of in a battle. So until we go into regression, and I don't know how other people work, I only know how I work. So until I go into your Akashic records with you, either via Skype, I knew this. If I put my phone down, it'll start ringing. I'm not going to answer it. I got a new phone and I'm actually not even using that to record the video on. I prefer using my old Mac, so I'm using that. It's just vibrating really noisily, even though it's on silent. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, back to the plan, which is true. We get distracted all the time. You know, life is distracting us, but we have to prioritize in the moment what's the most important thing to you. And you know, working on yourself has to be the most important thing. And, you know, I'm constantly taken back to work on myself. It's a work in progress. 16 years of doing inner journey work. I think that if I hadn't have done that, I don't even... No, I can honestly say, I don't think if I didn't have the capacity to do inner journey work on myself, if I didn't have the intuitive wisdom to go out there and seek help when I needed it. You know, I still go and I did a session with a great lady the other day in Australia for what I personally needed for myself that I couldn't quite find in myself. So, you know, 16 years doing amazing therapy work with other people, and still, you know, I have a whole plethora of people that I will go and pay professional money for their help, whether it's I don't do normal chiropractor. I go and see an activator chiropractor. I swear by Google activator chiropractor. They're amazing. If you know how to use it, I can even bring up past lives through doing, you know, activator chiropractor. I healed my neck. Many of you know I took myself, I'm celebrating, yay, a year off thyroxine this year. You know, it's been a year for me, a year this September, that I took myself off thyroxine. Now, I think I'm right in saying when I got mugged and strangled and pinned to the floor, unfortunately, by a gang of men outside my flat in London when I lived in London, I have a conscious belief I was 28, 29. I'm not completely sure. I think I was 28, 29. I think I am. You know, we can't remember unless we go back and check, and especially with negative things, sometimes we anchor them in too much, or in the way I work, I just kind of try and let that go. But it affected me. You know, I was diagnosed with an underactive thyroid 6 weeks later and put on thyroxine medicine for that because it triggered anxiety. Now, what I've learned over the years is, especially in the last year, I've done so much work on my thyroid through, you know, past lives of repression of speaking our truth. And I think that's happened for a lot of us, not whether we're male or female. We've been repressed from speaking our truth. People don't like you speaking your truth. You know, it triggers them. Your truth of the heart triggers people who are not completely in their heart. And most people like to think they're in their heart. They're like, oh, I'm in my heart, I'm in my heart. But their behaviour and the things that they do on the planet show they're maybe not as much in their heart as they'd like to think they are, especially when you have controversial conversations. And I do this. I have controversial conversations with people, and their egos take it the wrong way, especially that I'm vegan. And, you know, I'm saying, well, yeah, I wonder why people love animals so much and yet they eat them when, you know, I have found that we don't necessarily need to eat them. And I think mainstream is moving that way as well. We're realizing that cow's milk is for cows. You know, you might struggle initially to detox that out of your body, and people love cheese. You know, it's a lovely flavor. Cheese is nice. But your body doesn't love cheese. You know, your body creates mucus in your body. Anyway, when you start talking like this, people get triggered and it offends their egos. And sometimes if they don't want to look at themselves, they will remove you and your friendship rather than look at themselves. And I have certainly, over the years of evolving my consciousness into more and more expanded beliefs, and, you know, the personal work that I do with people, you know, as you know, if you look at my other videos, I'm doing past life regression, I'm doing inner child therapy, I'm doing ancestral timeline, I do spirit releasement, I can read your emotional Akashic records as well as regressing you, and I speak light language, and I can read the galactic timelines. And I'm super intuitive, and that's just the truth of what is. These are my skills, these are my gifts, just as you have skills and gifts that you share with the world. And I can have other skills and gifts as well. And, you know, sometimes people get challenged by people who are confident and outgoing. And I wasn't always confident, you know, and outgoing. I went through stages in my life where I wasn't. And I had people who squashed me down. And you have to lift yourself up, you know. You have to sort of rise like a phoenix. You know, you have to rise like a mermaid or a merman out of the sea. You know, you can drown or you can rise back up, and never let anybody dull your light. They might be angry with themselves and project it out at you, but yeah, never let anyone dull your sparkle, and never withhold your truth when you know in your being to heal your throat you need to share your truth publicly with people, even if it might challenge them. You know, and I've done that publicly. I've done that on TV many times, and I've done it to the point on TV where I think it you know, created a reality where I didn't get invited back for, and I haven't for a few years. I personally feel that is going to turn around. I think this whole energy now in 2016 is shifting everything. The whole of reality is being changed. Everything, even, you know, I don't really watch mainstream terrestrial TV, and yet I used to work on it. But I just watched it the last couple of days, and there were some amazing programs coming into the mainstream. There was a program about a doctor trying to get people off pharmaceutical drugs, and I was like, wow, that's so exciting. You know, there was a whole thing, you know, and I used to work on This Morning, and there was a whole slot this morning about stalkers, and gosh, over the years I've had so many stalkers. Oh my god, I think that's the byproduct of maybe in the past, you know, when I was modelling and younger, I didn't understand why you get stalkers, and being sweet and lovely to people can make people misinterpret that kindness. You know, I've experienced stalking even this last year, you know, from someone I briefly dated who, you know, I didn't have as good enough boundaries as I should have. And you know, I think people, exes can stalk you, I think, when they're maybe sociopathic or psychopathic or narcissistic in their being, and you know, your loveliness is a way that they can't look at themselves, so they're living from a facade self. So you make them feel better by being in their reality. The fact that they're controlling, they're bullying, they're maybe not very kind in their communication skills, maybe it's domestic violence by verbal abuse, it doesn't have to be physical abuse. I mean, I was very lucky, I only spent 13 days in this person's company, and that was really, you know, 10 days too much. I knew it was wrong, and I allowed it to continue, and I have learned a huge lesson from that experience, and I would never do that again. And oh my goodness, you know, I know I'm talking it feels like I'm covering every subject today, just in little tangents, and I hope that my stream of consciousness and tangents is delivering something that you needed to hear at this time, because I think there's so many things we need to hear, and there's so many things we need to clear up on, and we are responsible. Am I responsible for attracting stalkers? To a certain degree, yes and no. Yes and no. You know, I have to have better boundaries. Do I want to not be friendly with people? No. But we have to be really, especially all of us, you know, nowadays are probably on social media. We have Facebook accounts. Or the amount of people who try to contact you, and, you know, the more followers you have, the more people you'll have. You know, we need to learn to value ourselves and have boundaries. You don't have to speak to everybody who wants to contact you. Or wants to project a close relationship on you. Those happen organically and naturally. You know, don't feel bad saying no to someone. We need to learn, I think more on the spiritual path, we need to learn the mighty no just as much as we need to learn about love. We need to say no. We need to have boundaries sometimes. And we have to show people where those boundaries are. You know, many of us, we didn't learn boundaries in our childhood because, and this is why when I do the wounded inner child work with people, you know, you will find out that in your childhood, your desires and wants were not always honoured. You know, your parents didn't always get your needs met. And really, in a perfect parent-child relationship, when you're small, the job of the parent is to get the child's needs met, because the child can't go and meet its own needs. You know, when you're very small, you can't feed yourself, you can't clothe yourself, you can't go, this is toxic here, I think I'll go and live down the road. You can't do that. So you rely on these people to have your best interests at heart. And they can't always, because they're deeply wounded themselves and they haven't healed their own inner child. And having a child just triggers their own wounding. So, and they're not in therapy. They don't know that they have a wounded inner child. They don't know that they need to heal that. So, but the thing is, some of us do. We know that now. And we can't always go and heal our parents, but we can heal ourselves. You know, we can go and do work with professional people like myself to help you heal your wounded inner child. You don't even need to know how it works to receive the help. You just need to know that you need help. And the same with past lives. You know, the origin doesn't always lie in this timeline. It lies in the first time. But sometimes we have to go back to the inner child first, in all various ages where you fragmented off. and the trauma has happened that you might be consciously aware of, you might not be consciously aware of. And we go through that just like with a fine tooth comb, and you know, it can be quick or it can be time consuming. I had a client the other day, I saw her post on Facebook saying, wow, Andrea helped me, you know, process in half an hour Skype session what she hadn't processed in a whole lifetime of psychotherapy. So it can be that quick, and I was like, that's a lovely thing for you to say, thank you, but that testimonial is relevant to you. That doesn't mean everybody is going to process, you know, everything in half an hour. No, you know, I've been working with some people a long time, but that was reflective on where she's at and how much inner journey work she'd already done and how willing she was to let go of her stories. So when people ask me often, well, how many sessions do you think I'll need? I really don't know. I really don't know till I start working with you. And please don't be put off by thinking, oh, well, you know, I'm not going to start because I don't know how many sessions I'll need. You know, not doing anything isn't the answer. This is the time that we go inside ourselves. We value, we prioritize what's of value, you know. And if we want to be honoured and respected for the work that we do, then we have to honour and respect someone else's work and what they do. And that's how it works. And abundance is, you know, I love the saying of Bashar, which is abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it and not a moment before. So sometimes we have to make action towards what we want to do for the abundance to appear. And where we're at in our belief system around abundance. And sometimes you just need to change your priorities. You know, what do you choose to spend your money on? You know, maybe cut back on, I use acrylic nails as an example, but these are not necessities. I would put therapy before acrylic nails. You know, I would choose to maybe wash your own car for a little while, save your money instead of going to the car wash, if that's where your belief system is. Or often people have the money for therapy, but they don't value the therapy, so they don't see it's worth anything paying for. You know, they might spend thousands and thousands on a brand new car, but they're not going to pay for a therapy session, you know, and that's just where their belief system is. Or they might buy a brand new dress for a few £100 or something that they're going to wear once, but they wouldn't dream of paying for therapy. It's where your belief system is. It's what you prioritize. It's what you decide is of the most value to you. And personally, the most important thing for me, what I spend money on is you know, my well-being. That's what I spend money on. I spend money on colonics. I spend money on, I don't see a crack chiropractor. I do activator chiropractor, not even often when I feel I need a problem. I did it just to help me process the trauma of being mugged and strangled on my neck, which was part of my recovery program, as well as the emotional inner journey work and clearing the trauma out. Activator chiropractor doesn't go, they send little patwings with this like metal thing, and it can bring memory up. You know, when I did it once, I come from older parents, very Victorians, not right in how they behaved, but I get a lot of flashbacks to past lives whenever I have massages, or reflexology has helped me a lot. Whatever I do, but past life regression has been the most powerful, and I'm lucky I can take myself a lot of the time to see my own stuff and clear it, only because I have 16 years of working with other people to be able to do that. But sometimes I need help from other people even in doing that, in doing inner child work or past life regression or ancestral. And I do all those things at the same time with my clients because I believe they have to be done at the same time. Back to the activator chiropractor. So yeah, you know, one time I saw a repressed memory from my childhood of my mum washing my mouth out with a bar of soap. Is that right? No, of course it's wrong. It's wrong. But it happened, and the trauma had still stayed in my neck, and it flew out energetically. You know, another time I saw myself in a past life, a lot of trauma to my neck, you know, from Egypt, a lifetime where I wasn't allowed to speak my truth. I was silenced for my truth, you know, Like I said, I've been mugged and strangled in this lifetime. There was a lot of trauma here that I had to clear. And like I said, I've been off thyroxine now for a whole year. It's a journey. I had to do a lot of work on myself. I just didn't feel for me personally I could just go cold turkey and stop taking the tablets. It was emotionally getting myself to the place where I went, okay, that's it now. Oh, the video went off. It's like, oh, where did it go? The screen disappeared. So it's a journey. It's a process. You must have compassion with yourself. And again, I'm going to try and end this one at 22 minutes. So I've got just over a minute and a bit to end this. So I'm not going to do a light language at the end of this video. Please go to my other light languages. Please download the guided meditation off my website if you want to join in. We can do it again at 11 o'clock tonight. It doesn't matter. Do it whenever you feel like it. It's there for free for you to do whenever you want. I'm always happy to take on new clients who are willing to go inside themselves. If you struggle to go inside yourself a little bit, I would come in person and do regression with me in person, wherever I am in the world. You know, I travel a lot, so I might be in Sedona or Hawaii going forward, and I'm in London a lot seeing clients, and I'm in Glastonbury most of the time at present in 2016. That could change, and I'm in Cornwall, and yeah, I'm on Skype daily to read the emotional Akashic records. So, you know, but start meditating. Do the free ones. See if you like those. There's other ones on my shop page. There's free light languages on other pages, other videos. You know, doing nothing is not taking responsibility for ourselves. We're not responsible for what happened to us, but we are responsible for our healing. And when we take that responsibility, we can transform not just ourselves, but we transform the world, because we're all little universes in ourselves. So we're all a universe being transformed. And when each universe transforms themselves, the outer universe transforms. Okay, so much love, many blessings. Bye.